Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 6 college football slate. Going to give out 3 plays I'm liking for the full Saturday slate of games. We do have some games on Friday. I think there's 5 games on Friday, and I'm recording this video on Friday afternoon. Didn't have any plays to give out in this video for the Friday games. I did post 2 plays on Patreon for the Friday games. And I do always give out more Prizepicks plays on Patreon, outside of what I share on YouTube for you guys. So if you've always wanted, or if you've ever wanted to get more Prizepicks plays from me, those are given out on Patreon pretty much every single day. And especially on the weekends, now that we have college football and we have NFL on Sundays, college football on Saturdays, I do give out a lot of plays on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. So check that out. Link down below in the description if you are interested. But for the Saturday slate of college football, we got 3 plays to give out. And as always, guys, we're going to break down these plays. We're going to share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure that you go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH. When you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and play $5, you're going to get $50 worth of free lineups just for signing up and using code NOAH. And then also, I do want to give a shout out to Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can go sign up for Sleeper, use promo code NOAH over there, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So whatever you put in on your first deposit, Sleeper will match up to $100. And they're also going to give you a free $20 entry. So this is something that Sleeper is doing that's new. Not only will you get that 100% deposit bonus when you sign up for Sleeper with code NOAH, you're also going to get a free $20 entry, and you don't have to make a deposit to get that free $20 entry. So this is a way for Sleeper to try and really bring in some more users, bring in new users. They're going to give you a $20 lineup just for signing up and making an account. You don't even have to make a deposit. So go on Sleeper, get that $20 entry, take the plays I give out in this video, put that $20 entry on it, and if you win, obviously that'll be like $115, $120 you'll probably get off that. And if you don't win, well, it was a free $20 entry, so it's really no loss to you. So that's another incentive to sign up for Sleeper right now, guys. They're going to give you a free $20 entry just for signing up and using code NOAH. So go download the Sleeper app, try them out. I personally really like the Sleeper app. It's an app that I've been using for like 2 or 3 years now. I'm only going to promote sites that I use personally myself. I'm not going to promote sites that I'm not using, that I wouldn't put my own money on. Any site I promote, it's going to be a site that I'm using myself and then I'm putting my own money on. So definitely check out Sleeper, guys. Really like their app. Sign up, use that code NOAH if you don't have an account over there. But let's talk about some Saturday college football plays. Before we do that, I do want to recap our plays from last Saturday, from week 5. So we gave out 3 picks last Saturday, went 3-0. So hopefully you guys did tail. Took Brandon Sorsby over 203.5 pass yards, which is a sweat-free cash. Sorsby, I think last week, almost threw for like 400 yards. That one hit easily. Took Trinidad Chambliss over 22.5 fantasy score. That one was a little bit more sweaty, but I think Chambliss did ultimately wind up going over by like 0.1 or 0.2 fantasy points. I know his line did get bumped up, so hopefully you were able to get it in before the line bumped, but Chambliss did go over 22.5 fantasy score. And then our third play was Deshaun Bishop over 10.5 fantasy score. That was also a little bit sweaty, but Bishop wound up coming through in overtime. That Tennessee game went to overtime. He had like a 25-yard touchdown run in overtime to put him over his fantasy score. So 3-0 last week. Hopefully you guys tailed and made some money. Let's try and go 3-0 again this weekend. Keep the streak going. So the first prop that I like for Saturday is going to be a prop on Chase Sowell, or Sowell, I think it's, or Sowell. I think that's how you say his name, Chase Sowell. We're going to take Chase Sowell for more than 42.5 receiving yards. So Chase Sowell is a transfer from East Carolina. He was on East Carolina last year, transferred into Iowa State this season, and he was expected to be one of their top receivers this season, especially without Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, who both went to the NFL. Higgins and Noel were were the Iowa State top 2 receivers last season. Sowell was expected to be the guy to kind of fill in for them. And to start the season, he wasn't really getting a ton of opportunity, wasn't playing a ton of snaps, wasn't really getting a lot of targets. But we started to see the snaps and the targets, come back up for Sowell. And if you look last week, he did have a season high 5 targets last week against Arizona, had 4 catches for 146 yards. And Sowell is a guy that has shown a lot of big play upside. He showed a lot of big play upside when he was at East Carolina last year. Consistently had games where he was getting big catches. Like if you look at his game log last year with East Carolina, his longest catches last year: 20 yards, 17 yards, 42, 40, 48, 53, 56, 50, 37. Those are just his longest catches. So that just kind of shows you the big play upside that he has. He was consistently getting 43 yards last year on just one catch. Like, he could go over this line on just one or two catches just because of the big play upside that he has. And now that the role is growing for Sowell, I think this is a good time to kind of buy in after he's kind of started off the season slow. I think the matchup here against Cincinnati is also solid. Like, Cincinnati's pass defense this year, I don't think's been very good. Like, if you look at Cincinnati in terms of what they've allowed pass yards per game, they're giving up 320 pass yards per game this season. So this is definitely a spot where Iowa State should be able to move the ball down the field through the air. I think this is a good matchup for Rocco Beck to be able to move the ball through the air. So I really like this spot for Chase Sowell. This is a guy that has big play upside. The role's growing. The targets are going up as well. If we get 5 or 6 targets here, I think there's a very good chance he can go over 42 and a half receiving yards, just given the big play upside that he has. So that's going to be our first play for Saturday. Our next prop is going to be on Arch Manning. And we're going to take Arch Manning for more than 210 and a half pass yards. Now, this line has kind of been moving all over the place. I saw this line get up to like 217, and then it kind of went down to like 207. Now it's at 210. At 210, I definitely like the over here for Arch Manning. Now, if you look at what Arch Manning has done so far this season, it's definitely been an underwhelming season for him. He has not played that well, just from a statistics perspective. Obviously, Texas, I mean, they're still one of the top teams in the country. They're a top 10 team. But week 1 against Ohio State, Arch Manning did struggle in that game, only threw for 170 yards. Did have an interception, only completed 56% of his passes. And then against UTEP, soft matchup, he bounced back, against San Jose State, soft matchup, he bounced back, threw for 295 yards, completed 63% of his passes. And then against UTEP, he did struggle against UTEP. That was a game that Texas just did not play that well. They only put up 27 points against UTEP. I think in that game they were favored by like 30. Like, they were expected to kind of blow UTEP out of the water, and it just didn't work out that way. And Arch Manning only threw for 114 yards. But then last week against Sam Houston State, Texas looked really good. I mean, obviously Sam Houston State's not a good team, so you expected Texas to do well in that spot. But Texas went out there, beat them 55-0. They looked like the Texas that you would expect to look like against Sam Houston State. Arch Manning threw for 309 yards. Pretty sure he only played like the first half, I want to say, of that game, because the game was so out of hand. I don't exactly know when they pulled Arch Manning. I would assume it was probably after the second half. Maybe he did play into it looks like he did play into the third quarter, but I don't think he played into the fourth quarter. So basically he threw for over 300 yards last week against Sam Houston State in only 3 quarters. Obviously that's a matchup where he should have success. This spot going into Florida definitely looks like a tough spot on paper, but so far this season, Florida has not been very good. I mean, they've lost 3 games in a row. Their defense has definitely been better than their offense. I mean, their offense is what's really killed them. They just can't put up any points. But their defense hasn't been like shut down either. I mean, you look at what Byron Brown did against Florida. Byron Brown threw for like 260 yards against Florida, threw for 263. The week after that, Garrett Nussmeier threw for 220. Last week, Carson Beck didn't have the greatest game against Florida, only threw for 160 yards. But so far this season, Florida has not been this elite team that maybe people expected them to be. I mean, they're 1-3. They're 3 straight losses. I think this is definitely a spot where Texas can have success moving the ball through the air. And going on the road into Florida, it's kind of a tough environment. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game is competitive. Going into this game, like looking at spreads this week, I was expecting Texas to be big favorites here. I was expecting Texas to be favored by like double digits, but it's only a 7-point spread. So clearly the sports book, like the Vegas market, they're expecting this game to be competitive, given it's a 7-point spread. And if it's a competitive game, that's good for us, because that's just going to mean more pass attempts for Arch Manning. Obviously, if Texas gets a huge lead, there's a chance that maybe they take their foot off the gas pedal. They're able to run the ball more. But in this spot, I think we see a close enough game here to where Arch continues to have to drop back, continues to have to throw the ball. And, Arch, I don't want to just be off of him at this point. Like, I think Arch Manning is still one of the better quarterbacks in the country. He's been, he was a top recruit for a good reason. Like, he's not going to continue to play as poorly as he has. And I think we're definitely getting a low line on Arch Manning here, just due to how much he has kind of struggled this year. But I think this could be a spot where he has success. against Florida, a team that has struggled this year, hasn't been as elite defensively as maybe people expected. They've had, been able to, or Florida's allowed some big games through the air to Byron Brown. Nussmeier was decent against them through the air. I think we can definitely get 211 pass yards from Arch Manning here. So that's the second prop that I like for Saturday. And then our third and final prop is going to be on Drake Lindsey. And we're going to take Drake Lindsey for more than 173.5 pass yards. Now, this is another prop that has kind of been going all over the place. I think this line was at like 162, and then it went up to like 175, and now it's down to 173. I would have loved to have gotten it at 162, but it bumped before I could have gotten at that number. But at 173, I think I still like this play a good amount. Still like the over here. The reason I like this play, for one, I'm just expecting Minnesota to have to throw the ball a ton here. They're going on the road to face Ohio State. They're 20-point underdogs in this game. Anytime you have situations like this where a team is where a team is like a 20-point dog, there's obviously a chance that Minnesota goes into Ohio State and just can't do anything. Like, they can't move the ball down the field. They're just getting 3 and outs constantly, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Obviously, that's a concern. But the game script's going to set up where Minnesota has to throw the ball. And Drake Lindsey's a freshman quarterback. I'm sure Minnesota wants to see what they have in Drake Lindsey. And we've seen Minnesota really up their pass rate the last few weeks. They've been without their star running back, Darius Taylor. He's been out the last 2 games. And we've really seen Minnesota lean on Drake Lindsey's arm these last 2 games without Darius Taylor. In the game against Cal, Drake Lindsey had 32 pass attempts, threw for 205 yards. Last week against Rutgers, he had 41 pass attempts, threw for 324 yards. Minnesota has historically been like a run-first team, but it looks like without Darius Taylor, they're going to lean more into their passing game. And in this spot where they're big underdogs, you would think they're going to be forced to throw here. Now, we don't have any word yet on if Darius Taylor is going to be back for this game, but just trying to find some reports on Twitter and stuff, it looks like he's not going to be ready to play for this game against Ohio State. So I'm expecting no Darius Taylor once again for Minnesota. I'm expecting a higher pass rate for Minnesota in this spot. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see like 25, 30 pass attempts here for Drake Lindsey, maybe even more than that. And if he throws the ball that much, even against a pretty good Ohio State defense, obviously Ohio State's one of the top defenses in the country, even against a good defense, there's just going to be enough volume here, I think, to get 174 yards. I do worry about maybe, Ohio State just goes out there, beats the crap out of Minnesota, and Minnesota, just pulls the plug. They're just running the ball, trying to get out of here, not get anybody hurt. But I think as long as the game is within like 2 or 3 touchdowns, if it's like a 14, 21-point game, I think Minnesota's still going to be trying to throw the ball and trying to get yards, move the ball down the field. And Lindsey has shown to be a solid passer so far this season. I know it's only a 4-game sample. We haven't seen him much in college football. This is his first season as a starter. But he's been decent so far this season in the game that he has played. Obviously, this is a really tough spot going on the road to play Ohio State. But I think the volume's going to be there in a game where they're likely going to be forced to throw a good amount. So give me Drake Lindsey. More than 173.5 pass yards is our third and final prop for Saturday. So we've got 3 plays here for this Saturday slate, guys. As always, appreciate you guys watching these Prizepicks videos. Appreciate your support. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you enjoy these videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, go sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH and get those $50 in free lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. But yeah, as always, guys, good luck. Let's win some money this week. Let's try and go 3-0 again. And I'll see you guys in the next video.